Maya Rodriguez had always been different from other kids in her small Texas town. While her classmates spent their afternoons playing video games or hanging out at the mall, she was in the backyard with her grandfather learning to shoot tin cans off fence posts with an old .22 rifle. Her grandfather, a Vietnam veteran named Carlos, saw something special in his granddaughter's steady hands and calm demeanor. The first time Maya picked up a rifle at age 12, she hit the target dead center. Carlos raised his eyebrows but said nothing. The second shot was equally precise. By the third shot, he knew his granddaughter had a gift that couldn't be taught. "Shooting isn't just about pulling a trigger, mija," Carlos would tell her during their evening sessions. "It's about controlling your breath, understanding the wind, and most importantly, staying calm when everyone else is losing their minds." Maya absorbed every lesson like a sponge. She learned about wind direction by watching grass sway, about distance by counting fence posts, and about patience by sitting perfectly still for hours watching deer in the nearby woods. Her natural ability, combined with her grandfather's military knowledge, created something remarkable. When Maya entered high school, she joined the ROTC program almost immediately. The other students looked at the quiet girl with dark hair and serious eyes, wondering what she was doing there among the future soldiers and Marines. Maya never spoke much during classes, preferring to listen and observe. This silence made some of her classmates think she was weak or unsure of herself. During her first marksmanship competition, the other ROTC members whispered among themselves, "Look at Rodriguez." One boy named Jake laughed. "She probably can't even hold the rifle properly." Another student, Sarah, rolled her eyes and said, "I bet she'll be crying after the first round." The shooting instructor, Sergeant Mitchell, had heard the comments, but decided to let the students learn for themselves. He had noticed something about Maya during the safety briefing. She handled weapons with a respect and familiarity that most teenagers didn't possess. When she picked up the M16 for the first time, her grip was perfect, her stance natural. The first round began with targets set at 100 yards. Jake stepped up first, confident and loud, telling everyone how his father had taught him to hunt since he was 8 years old. His shots scattered across the target, with only 2 hitting the bullseye area. Sarah went next, doing slightly better but still missing several shots completely. When Maya's turn came, the group fell silent mostly out of curiosity. She approached the firing line without any of the bravado the others had shown. She took her position, checked her rifle methodically, and settled into her stance. The first shot rang out, and the spotting scope showed a perfect center hit. The second shot landed so close to the first that it looked like one hole. By the fifth shot, Maya had created a cluster so tight that Sergeant Mitchell had to look twice to believe it. "Holy cow," Jake whispered, his earlier confidence completely gone. Sarah stared at the target in disbelief. The other students began murmuring, wondering how the quiet girl had just outshot everyone by such a wide margin. Sergeant Mitchell walked over to examine Maya's target more closely. In his 20 years of military service, he had rarely seen such precision from anyone, let alone a 17-year-old high school student. "Rodriguez," he called out, trying to keep his voice level. "Where did you learn to shoot like that?" Maya simply shrugged and said, "My grandfather taught me, Sergeant." The news of Maya's exceptional marksmanship spread quickly through the school. Students who had barely noticed her before suddenly knew her name. Some were impressed, others were skeptical, thinking it might have been just luck. The ROTC program's reputation got a boost when word reached other schools in the district. During the next few months, Maya continued to excel in every shooting exercise. Whether it was pistol training, rifle work, or even the more advanced sniper simulation exercises that Sergeant Mitchell introduced, she performed at a level that seemed almost superhuman. Her scores were consistently perfect, or near perfect, leaving her classmates and instructors amazed. But Maya's talents extended beyond just shooting. She demonstrated exceptional skills in fieldcraft, camouflage, and observation. During survival exercises, she could spot movement that others missed entirely. In navigation challenges, she never got lost and always found the most efficient routes. Her ability to remain perfectly still for extended periods during reconnaissance training impressed even Sergeant Mitchell, who had served with some of the military's best snipers. The turning point came during a regional ROTC competition. Schools from across 3 states sent their best marksmen to compete in various shooting disciplines. Maya's school had never placed higher than 5th in previous years, but Sergeant Mitchell was confident that Maya could change that. The competition drew attention from military recruiters and scouts who regularly attended these events looking for promising candidates. Among them was Chief Petty Officer David Torres, a Navy SEAL recruiter who had heard rumors about an exceptional young shooter from a small Texas town. Maya's performance at the regional competition was nothing short of extraordinary. She not only won every individual event she entered, but set new records in 3 different categories. Her precision with a sniper rifle at 500 yards was so impressive that several military personnel in attendance requested to see her equipment, wondering if she was using some kind of specialized gear. "That's just a standard M24, Sergeant Mitchell told them. "She's using the same equipment as everyone else." Chief Torres approached Maya after her final event, where she had just achieved a perfect score in the precision rifle challenge. "That was some impressive shooting, Miss Rodriguez," he said, introducing himself. "Have you ever considered a career in the military?" Maya looked at the SEAL recruiter with the same calm expression she wore during shooting competitions. "Yes, sir. I've been thinking about it." "What branch?" Torres asked. "Navy?" Maya replied without hesitation. "I want to be where the action is." Torres smiled. In his 15 years of recruiting, he had learned to spot natural talent, but Maya was something special. Her shooting skills were obviously exceptional, but there was something else about her, a quiet confidence and mental toughness that couldn't be taught. Over the following weeks, Torres stayed in touch with Maya and Sergeant Mitchell, learning more about the young woman's background and capabilities. He discovered that Maya's academic performance was as impressive as her marksmanship, with high scores in mathematics, physics, and foreign languages. Her psychological profile showed remarkable stress tolerance and decision-making abilities under pressure. "She's got everything we look for," Torres told his commanding officer during a recruitment meeting. "Exceptional marksmanship, high intelligence, physical fitness, and most importantly, the right mindset. She could be SEAL material." Maya's senior year flew by as she prepared for military life. She maintained her perfect record in ROTC while taking additional courses in advanced mathematics and physics to better understand ballistics. Her grandfather, Carlos, continued their training sessions, now focusing on more advanced techniques he had learned during his special operations service in Vietnam. "The military will teach you many things, mija," Carlos told her during one of their last training sessions before graduation. "But remember that the most important weapon you have is your mind. Stay calm, think clearly, and trust your training." On graduation day, Maya stood among her classmates knowing that her path was different from theirs. While they were heading to college or starting jobs, she was about to enter one of the most challenging training programs the military had to offer. Chief Torres had helped arrange for her to attend Navy boot camp immediately after graduation, with the possibility of special operations training if she continued to perform at her current level. Maya's ROTC classmates, who had once mocked her quiet demeanor, now looked at her with a mixture of respect and amazement. Jake, who had made fun of her during that first marksmanship competition, approached her after the ceremony. "Maya, I wanted to apologize for what I said when we first started shooting," he said awkwardly. "I had no idea what you were capable of." Maya nodded graciously. "No problem, Jake. We all have to start somewhere." As Maya prepared to leave for Navy boot camp, she carried with her not just exceptional shooting skills, but a foundation of discipline, mental toughness, and strategic thinking that would serve her well in the challenges ahead. Her small Texas town had produced something remarkable. A young woman whose quiet confidence and extraordinary abilities would soon catch the attention of the military's most elite units. The day before leaving, Maya spent one final afternoon with her grandfather at their makeshift shooting range. They didn't talk much, both understanding that this was the end of one chapter and the beginning of something much bigger. "You ready for this, mija?" Carlos asked as they packed up the rifles. Maya looked toward the horizon, where the sun was setting over the Texas landscape she had known all her life. "Yes, abuelo. I'm ready." Neither of them could have imagined just how ready she truly was, or how her quiet confidence and exceptional abilities would soon earn her a reputation that would reach the highest levels of military special operations. Maya Rodriguez was about to become someone the SEALs would never forget. Navy boot camp at Great Lakes Naval Training Center was supposed to break recruits down and build them back up as sailors. For Maya Rodriguez, It felt more like a warm-up exercise. While other recruits struggled with the physical demands, strict discipline, and mental pressure, Maya moved through each challenge with the same calm focus she had shown in high school. Her drill instructors noticed her immediately. Petty Officer First Class Williams had trained thousands of recruits over his career, but Maya stood out for all the right reasons. She never complained, never fell behind during physical training, and executed every order with precision. More importantly, she had a stabilizing effect on the other recruits in her division. Rodriguez, Petty Officer Williams called out during their third week of training. Front and center, Maya stepped forward with the crisp movement she had perfected in ROTC. Yes, Petty Officer Williams. Your marksmanship scores from the range yesterday were interesting, Williams said, holding up a target sheet. Perfect score with both pistol and rifle. The range master wants to know if there was some kind of scoring error. No error, Petty Officer Williams, Maya replied. Those are my shots. Williams studied the young woman in front of him. In 20 years of military service, including 2 tours with Marine Force Recon, he had seen exceptional shooters before. But Maya's target looked like something from a textbook. Every shot clustered in the center with mechanical precision. Where did you learn to shoot like this, Rodriguez? My grandfather taught me. Petty Officer Williams. He served in Vietnam with special operations. He made a mental note to contact his friends in the special warfare community. This recruit was clearly destined for something beyond regular Navy duties. Maya's reputation spread quickly through the training center. During combined training exercises with other divisions, instructors would quietly point her out to their colleagues. Her physical fitness scores were in the top percentile. Her academic performance was flawless, and her leadership qualities emerged naturally during team exercises. The real test came during the final field exercise, a complex scenario designed to simulate combat conditions. Maya's division was tasked with securing a mock enemy position while under simulated fire. The exercise typically resulted in chaos as stressed recruits forgot their training and made critical mistakes. Maya found herself assigned as the designated marksman for her squad, armed with an M14 rifle, and positioned to provide overwatch for the assault team. As the exercise began, she quickly identified the optimal firing position, a small rise that provided clear sight lines to the objective while offering concealment from enemy observers. The simulated enemy forces were played by advanced training instructors who knew how to make the exercise as realistic and stressful as possible. Smoke grenades filled the air. Blank ammunition created realistic battle sounds, and the opposing force moved with tactical precision to pressure the attacking recruits. Maya settled into her position and began systematically engaging targets. Each shot was carefully aimed and precisely placed. Through her rifle scope, she watched as opposing force members were marked as casualties by exercise observers. Within minutes, she had effectively neutralized half of the defending force, allowing her squad to advance with minimal resistance. "Who the hell is that shooter?" demanded Master Chief Peterson, the senior instructor overseeing the exercise. He grabbed binoculars and focused on Maya's position. "She's taking out my people like they're standing still." Petty Officer Williams, monitoring the radio communications, smiled grimly. "That's Rodriguez, Master Chief. The one I told you about." Master Chief Peterson had run this exercise hundreds of times. He knew exactly how long it should take recruits to identify and engage targets under these conditions. Maya was performing at a level he typically only saw from experienced combat veterans. "Adjust the scenario," Peterson ordered. "Make it harder." The opposing force received new instructions to increase pressure on the attacking recruits. Additional smoke was deployed. The pace of simulated fire increased, and the defending instructors began using more advanced tactical movements to avoid Maya's fire. Maya adapted instantly. She shifted positions twice during the engagement, each time finding a better angle of attack. Her shooting became even more precise under the increased pressure, as if the chaos around her only sharpened her focus. By the end of the exercise, her squad had achieved their objective with minimal casualties, an almost unprecedented result. After the exercise, Master Chief Peterson approached Maya personally. "Rodriguez, that was some exceptional shooting out there. You ever think about special operations?" "Yes, Master Chief," Maya replied. "That's always been my goal." Peterson studied her carefully. You know what special operations training involves. It's not just about shooting. It's about pushing yourself beyond what you think is possible, working as part of an elite team, and handling situations most people can't even imagine. Maya met his gaze steadily. I understand, Master Chief. I'm ready for that challenge. Over the remaining weeks of boot camp, Maya continued to excel in every area. Her scores in all categories were near perfect, and her performance during leadership exercises caught the attention of officers throughout the training command. More importantly, word of her exceptional abilities reached the Special Operations community. Commander Sarah Mitchell, the officer in charge of Naval Special Warfare candidate screening, received several phone calls about Maya during her final week of boot camp. The reports were all similar: exceptional marksmanship, outstanding physical performance, strong leadership qualities, and most importantly, the mental toughness that Special Operations demanded. I want to meet this Rodriguez, Commander Mitchell told her staff. Set up an interview before she graduates. The interview took place in a small conference room at the Training Command headquarters. Commander Mitchell, accompanied by Master Chief Peterson and a SEAL recruiter, sat across from Maya, who appeared as calm and composed as ever despite the significance of the meeting. Rodriguez, Commander Mitchell began. Your instructors tell me you're interested in special operations. Tell me why. Maya had prepared for this question, but she answered honestly rather than giving what she thought they wanted to hear. Ma'am, I've always been drawn to challenges that push me to my limits. I want to serve my country at the highest level possible, and I believe my skills would be most valuable in special operations. What makes you think you have what it takes? The SEAL recruiter asked. Special operations training has a failure rate of over 70%. Most people who think they're ready find out they're not. Sir, I've been preparing for this my entire life, Maya replied. My grandfather taught me that success comes from preparation, discipline, and the ability to stay calm under pressure. I know the training will be difficult, but I'm confident in my ability to adapt and overcome. Commander Mitchell made notes as Maya spoke. The young woman's confidence wasn't arrogance. It was the quiet certainty of someone who had never failed at anything she truly committed to achieving. Your shooting scores are impressive, Master Chief Peterson interjected. But special operations involves more than just marksmanship. How do you handle failure? Maya paused, considering the question carefully. Master Chief, I've learned that failure is just information. It tells you what doesn't work so you can find what does. In shooting, if you miss the target, you analyze why: wind, breathing, trigger control, and you adjust. I apply the same approach to everything. The interview continued for another hour, covering everything from Maya's family background to her long-term career goals. By the end, all three officers were impressed not just with her answers, but with her maturity and self-awareness. After Maya left the room, the three officers discussed her candidacy. She's exactly what we're looking for, Commander Mitchell concluded. High intelligence, exceptional skills, and the right mindset. I want her in the next Bud/S class. Bud/S Basic Underwater Demolition/SEAL Training was the legendary 6-month program that transformed exceptional individuals into Navy SEALs. The training was notorious for its difficulty, with a dropout rate that eliminated the vast majority of candidates. For Maya, it represented the culmination of everything she had worked toward. Maya graduated from boot camp with honors, receiving recognition as the top recruit in her division. As she prepared to move on to the next phase of her military career, she felt the same quiet confidence that had carried her through every challenge so far. Her orders came through 2 days after graduation. Report to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, California, for basic underwater demolition/SEAL training. Maya read the orders with satisfaction. Everything was falling into place exactly as she had planned. Before leaving for California, Maya called her grandfather to share the news. Carlos listened with pride as she described her assignment to Bud/S training. Mija, you're about to face the biggest challenge of your life, he told her. Remember everything I taught you, but most importantly, remember that your greatest strength is your mind. Keep it calm and focused, no matter what they throw at you. I will, abuelo, Maya promised. Thank you for everything you taught me. As Maya prepared for the journey to Coronado, she reflected on how far she had come from that first day shooting tin cans in her grandfather's backyard. Boot camp had been challenging but manageable. Bud/S would be different. It was designed to find the absolute limits of human endurance and mental toughness. Maya arrived at Coronado on a bright California morning, joining 180 other candidates who had been selected for Bud/S Class 247. Looking around at her fellow candidates, she saw the same mix of confidence and nervous energy she had observed in every group of elite performers. The candidates came from diverse backgrounds: college athletes, former Marines, experienced sailors, and military academy graduates. Most were men, with only 12 women in the entire class. Maya immediately noticed the way some of the male candidates looked at the female candidates, questioning whether women belonged in SEAL training. "Great! Another social experiment," she heard one candidate mutter to his friend as they processed through the initial administrative procedures. Maya said nothing, focusing instead on the tasks at hand. She had learned long ago that actions spoke louder than words, and she was confident that her performance would answer any questions about her capabilities. The first phase of Bud/S training began the following Monday, with what instructors called welcome aboard activities. Maya quickly discovered that Navy SEAL instructors had a unique definition of welcome. The physical training was intense, the mental pressure was constant, and the message was clear: only the strongest and most determined would survive. But Maya was ready. Every morning run, every swimming evolution, every calisthenics session felt familiar. Her years of preparation with her grandfather had built not just physical strength and shooting skills, but the mental toughness that Bud/S demanded. As the first week progressed, Maya's quiet competence began to stand out. While other candidates struggled with the pace and intensity, she moved through each challenge with the same calm focus she had shown throughout her military career. Her marksmanship scores were perfect, her physical performance was outstanding, and her ability to remain composed under stress impressed even the notoriously hard-to-please Bud/S instructors. Maya Rodriguez was about to discover just how far her exceptional abilities would take her in the world's most elite military training program. Hell Week arrived like a storm that had been building on the horizon for months. Maya Rodriguez stood with the remaining 89 candidates of Bud/S Class 247 as the sun set on their last normal day for the next 5.5 days. More than half of their original class had already dropped out during the first 5 weeks of training, unable to handle the relentless physical and mental pressure. Chief Petty Officer Rodriguez, no relation to Maya, addressed the remaining candidates with the same stern expression he had worn throughout their training. "Gentlemen and ladies," he began, his voice carrying across the beach at Coronado, "tomorrow morning begins Hell Week. Some of you think you know what that means. You don't." Maya listened with the same calm attention she brought to every briefing, but internally she felt a familiar stirring of excitement. Every challenge so far had only confirmed what her grandfather had taught her: that her mind was her greatest weapon, and that staying calm under pressure was her greatest advantage. The first night of Hell Week began with a simulated beach assault at 020 hours. Instructors used live ammunition fired overhead, explosive charges, and smoke grenades to create the most realistic combat environment possible. Within training constraints, candidates were required to move through the chaos, complete specific objectives, and maintain unit cohesion, while being constantly harassed by instructors. Maya found herself assigned as the point person for her boat crew, responsible for navigation and target identification. As explosions erupted around them and instructors screamed contradictory orders designed to create confusion, she maintained her focus on the mission objectives. "Rodriguez!" screamed Instructor Chief Martinez, appearing suddenly through the smoke with his face painted in camouflage. "Where the hell is your crew supposed to be right now?" Maya checked her compass and map quickly, ignoring the chaos around her. "Chief, we're 200 meters southeast of Checkpoint Bravo, proceeding to the rally point as ordered." Martinez studied her for a moment, looking for signs of the stress and confusion that typically overwhelmed candidates during this phase of training. Maya met his gaze steadily, her breathing controlled despite having just completed a 2-mile run through soft sand while carrying a boat. "Outstanding, Rodriguez," Martinez barked. "Lead your crew to the next objective." As Hell Week progressed, Maya's reputation among both candidates and instructors continued to grow. While her classmates battled exhaustion, hypothermia, and mental breakdown, she seemed to draw strength from the increasing difficulty. Her shooting scores remained perfect even when she had been awake for 3 straight days. Her physical performance actually improved as the week progressed, as if the extreme stress had unlocked reserves of energy and focus that normal training couldn't access. By Wednesday night of Hell Week, Maya's boat crew had emerged as the top-performing team in their class. Under her quiet leadership, they had completed every evolution successfully and maintained the highest morale of any group. Other candidates began asking to be assigned to work with Maya, having observed her ability to remain calm and make good decisions when everyone else was falling apart. "How does she do it?" gasped Tommy Chen, a former college football player who was struggling with the sleep deprivation and physical demands. "It's like she's not even tired." Maya overheard the comment, but said nothing. The truth was that she was exhausted, cold, and pushed to her physical limits like everyone else. The difference was that her grandfather's training had taught her to function effectively despite discomfort, and her natural mental toughness allowed her to maintain focus when others lost theirs. The climax of Hell Week came during a complex nighttime operation that required candidates to infiltrate a mock enemy position, gather intelligence, and extract without being detected. The exercise was designed to test every skill they had learned while operating under maximum stress and fatigue. Maya was assigned as the designated marksman for the operation, equipped with a sniper rifle and positioned to provide overwatch for the infiltration team. Her job was to identify threats, provide accurate intelligence to the assault team, and eliminate high-priority targets if the mission went kinetic. The exercise began at 02:00 hours on Friday morning, with candidates who had been awake for over 100 hours, attempting to execute a precision military operation. Most classes experienced significant failures during this evolution, as exhausted candidates made critical mistakes in judgment and execution. Maya settled into her overwatch position 800 meters from the target area, her rifle zeroed and ready. Through her scope, she methodically scanned the mock enemy position, identifying guard patterns, defensive positions, and potential threats to the infiltration team. "Overwatch, this is Alpha Team," came the radio call from the assault team leader. "We're beginning our approach. Request target assessment." Maya keyed her radio, her voice clear and professional despite the extreme fatigue. "Alpha Team, this is Overwatch. I have eyes on 3 sentries in fixed positions, 2 roving patrols with 4-minute intervals, and what appears to be a reaction force staged in the central building. Recommend approach from the northeast, using the drainage ditch for concealment." As the infiltration team moved into position, Maya continued providing real-time intelligence updates. Her ability to spot movement and identify threats in low-light conditions was exceptional, even by SEAL standards. When one of the enemy instructors moved to a position that would compromise the assault team's approach, Maya's precise simulated shot eliminated the threat before it could sound an alarm. "Outstanding shooting, Overwatch," came the reply from Alpha Team. Target neutralized. The operation continued for 2 hours, with Maya providing continuous support to multiple teams operating in the target area. Her marksmanship was flawless, her tactical communications were professional, and her ability to maintain situational awareness while operating on minimal sleep impressed every instructor monitoring the exercise. When Hell Week finally ended at sunset on Friday, Maya Rodriguez was one of only 34 candidates remaining from the original class of 180. More importantly, she had established herself as the top performer in a group of exceptional individuals, earning respect from both her peers and the notoriously difficult-to-impress Bud/S instructors. Commander James Sullivan, the commanding officer of Bud/S training, made a rare appearance at the Hell Week completion ceremony. As he addressed the surviving candidates, his eyes repeatedly returned to Maya, who stood at attention with the same calm composure she had shown throughout the ordeal. "Ladies and gentlemen," Commander Sullivan announced, "you have completed one of the most demanding training evolutions in the U.S. military. You should be proud of what you've accomplished. But remember, this is just the beginning." After the ceremony, Commander Sullivan approached Maya personally. "Rodriguez, that was some exceptional performance during Hell Week. Your instructors tell me you never lost focus, never complained, and actually seemed to get stronger as the week progressed." "Thank you, sir," Maya replied. I had excellent preparation before arriving here. Sullivan studied the young woman carefully. In his 12 years overseeing SEAL training, he had seen thousands of exceptional candidates. Maya was different, not just because of her skills, but because of her mental approach to extreme challenges. I understand you're interested in sniper training after Bud/S, Sullivan continued. Yes, sir. That's always been my goal. Based on what I've seen, I think you'd be an excellent candidate for our advanced programs, Sullivan said. Keep performing at this level, and you'll have opportunities that most SEALs never get. Maya continued to excel through the remaining phases of Bud/S training. The second phase focused on combat diving and underwater operations, proved challenging for many candidates who struggled with the technical demands and claustrophobic conditions. Maya approached each evolution methodically, applying the same analytical thinking that had made her such an effective marksman. During one particularly demanding exercise involving underwater navigation in murky water with limited visibility, Maya successfully completed a complex route that had defeated several of her classmates. Her ability to remain calm in stressful underwater situations, combined with her natural spatial awareness, made her one of the top performers in diving operations. The third and final phase of Bud/S focused on land warfare, including advanced marksmanship, small unit tactics, and demolitions training. For Maya, this phase felt like a natural extension of everything her grandfather had taught her. Combined with the advanced military techniques she had been learning throughout her naval career, her marksmanship scores during third phase were legendary among the instructor staff. On the advanced sniper course, she achieved perfect scores at ranges up to 1,000 meters, often shooting groups so tight that instructors had to examine targets closely to verify that multiple shots had actually been fired. Chief Warrant Officer Davis, the senior marksmanship instructor, had trained hundreds of SEALs over his career. After watching Maya's performance during a particularly challenging shooting evolution, he pulled her aside for a private conversation. Rodriguez, I've been training snipers for 15 years, Davis said. What you're doing out there isn't just exceptional. It's almost supernatural. Where did this come from? Maya smiled slightly, thinking of her grandfather and all those afternoons shooting tin cans in rural Texas. My grandfather taught me that shooting is really about controlling your mind, Chief. Everything else is just mechanics. Davis nodded slowly. Your grandfather sounds like a wise man. What's your plan after Bud/S? I want to go to sniper school, Chief. Eventually, I'd like to be assigned to a SEAL team as their primary sniper. With skills like yours, you won't just be assigned to a team, Davis replied. You'll probably end up training other snipers. I'm going to recommend you for the Advanced Sniper course at Fort Bragg. It's normally reserved for SEALs with at least 2 deployments, but I think you're ready now. Maya Rodriguez graduated from Bud/S as the honor graduate of Class 247, achieving the highest overall scores in the program's history. During the graduation ceremony, she received her SEAL Trident, the golden pin that marked her as one of the most elite warriors in the world. Her family flew in from Texas to attend the ceremony, including her grandfather Carlos, who sat in the audience with tears of pride in his eyes as Maya crossed the stage. After the ceremony, Carlos embraced his granddaughter, who was now officially a Navy SEAL. You did it, mija, he whispered. You became everything I knew you could be. Maya's first assignment was to SEAL Team 7 based at Coronado. Her reputation had preceded her, and the experienced SEALs on the team were curious to see if the stories about her exceptional abilities were true. Some were skeptical that anyone, especially someone fresh out of Bud/S, could perform at the legendary level described in her training reports. Lieutenant Commander Mike Harrison, the team's executive officer, decided to test Maya's skills personally during her first week with the team. He set up a challenging shooting scenario that typically took experienced team snipers multiple attempts to master. Rodriguez, Harrison called out during a training exercise at the team's private range. I want you to show us what all the fuss is about. See that target at 800 meters? The instructors at Bud/S claim you can hit it consistently in various wind conditions. Maya studied the target through her scope, noting the wind flags and environmental conditions. Without any warm-up shots, she fired once. The spotting scope showed a perfect center hit. Again, Harrison ordered. Maya fired a second shot, then a third. Each bullet struck within inches of the first. creating a tight group that would have been impressive at 300 meters, let alone 800. The experienced SEALs watching the demonstration exchanged glances. They had all seen exceptional shooting before, but Maya's performance was on a different level entirely. "Outstanding," Harrison said quietly. "I can see why the training command was so impressed." Over the following months, Maya continued to prove herself as an invaluable member of SEAL Team 7. Her shooting skills were matched by her tactical intelligence, leadership abilities, and the same calm professionalism that had carried her through Bud/S training. When the team received orders for deployment to Afghanistan, Maya Rodriguez was assigned as the primary sniper, an unprecedented responsibility for someone so new to the teams. Her code name for the deployment would be Phantom, reflecting her ability to remain undetected while delivering precise, decisive firepower. The quiet girl from rural Texas had become exactly what her grandfather always knew she could be, one of the most lethal and effective warriors in the world's most elite military unit. Soon, her code name would become legend among Special Operations Forces, and her exceptional abilities would be tested in the crucible of actual combat.